Shepaug Valley School Scholarship Night. Scholarship Night is one of my favorite nights of the year because I think it's an absolute highlight of the strength of our community. Students, pay attention to what is being done for you this evening. It really is a very special thing. You will hear about people who've lost loved ones, people who have special causes in their minds and in their hearts. You will hear about people who have held hot cocoa sales and dinners and looked to their community to support you. And they love doing it. One of my favorite things on Scholarship Night, which I don't think will work out so well in a Zoom, is watching the faces of the presenters. They sit there like a group of grandparents, and they're not all old, like myself, but they sit there and they're smiling and they're clapping because they've known you since they were little, and they get just very, very excited to do good things for you, and because they have such faith that you are our future. So that's the meaning of Scholarship Night. Giving back to your community, having faith that the young people in our school will move forward and make the world a better place, and putting their loving attention to that very cause. So as we go through Scholarship Night, please think about that and think about what is being given to you, because I know very well that this is a class that will be giving back someday, and you'll get lots of great ideas. Mr. Boucher, could you please explain how all this works?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first ever virtual Zoom webinar style Shepaug Valley School Scholarship Night. Thank you for your patience in what is, a difficult but is going to be a lot of fun webinar. We are excited to have everyone, and I just wanted to go over a few ground rules to best explain how this night is going to work. First and foremost, the last program that I had shared right before we got started, I'm sending it once again to all panelists and all attendees. If you go to the chat feature, it's going to be this very long Google link. I tried to create a smaller link, but it didn't work for this. However, if you click on that, you can follow along on the program. I ask that all attendees, if there are any technical issues, please utilize the chat feature. You will be muted throughout the presentation. I also ask that all presenters, that means the scholarship committee members that are part of the panel, if please also stay muted throughout until it is your turn to present. I will be the MC tonight and will be transitioning in between each scholarship. We are working on closed captioning for this event as well. We have one of our colleagues is going to be typing as fast as they can to ensure that everyone has access to the content that is being delivered. Last but not least, we really encourage that all presenters who are presenting multiple scholarships, please pause for 5 seconds after announcing the first student's name and the next student's name and so on, so that we can highlight the student that is winning that award. It's a special moment for them. We want to capture that moment, and we have the ability to do so with this webinar Zoom. I think that is it for now, but without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first scholarship presentation of the evening. We have Ms. Sheila Anson presenting on behalf of the American Legion, the Edward Weeks Memorial Scholarship.
Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2020. The American Legion Gage Zump Post 87 is a veterans group dedicated to supporting local service organizations. All members have served in the U.S. Armed Forces during a time of war. The Post is nonprofit. All funds raised support Post operations or are donated to local organizations. And many of you probably know about their chicken in a box on Memorial Day, which sold out within an hour and a half. The first recipient of the Gage Zump Post 87 Award is Owen Moore.
Thank you.
The second,
Poor Owen. You look great, Owen. All right. Congratulations to Owen Moore, and thank you, Ms. Anson, for your presentation. Next up, we have a very special presentation. It's an extremely special presentation brought to us by Major Nancy Bates.
Thank you for allowing me to present this very special appointment this evening on behalf of the United States Military Academy, as well as the United States Army. This slide, even though these are cadets at West Point, much like the candidate that I will be presenting the appointment to, these could have been Shepaug students because this is what we've all been doing the last few months. And I thought pictures speak more than 1,000 words. So improvise, adapt, and overcome is what we've become used to over the past few months, where our living rooms, our bedrooms, and our kitchen tables have been our learning centers. And athletes, cadets have been exercising on their own. The woman in the lower right-hand picture reminds me of the candidate that I'll be presenting to this evening. And I chose this photo because she's getting up in the middle of the morning after one of our snowstorms in late spring and out exercising and going by a house that has American flag on it and motivational sayings such as, "We're all in this together," and "We are strong." And resiliency and improvising, adapting, and overcoming is all what this has been about. But as we've learned, adversity doesn't necessarily build character, it reveals it. And the young woman I'm going to present this evening, I think, embodies all of those qualities. For those that are not familiar with the United States Military Academy at West Point, it really is the anchor of our American democracy. The upper left-hand corner shows a picture of when it was established in 1778 by General George Washington. And the reason he established West Point can be visible by the lower left-hand corner. West Point is called West Point because it is the furthest western point of land on the Hudson River. And during the American Revolution, the British needed to capture the Hudson River to control the commerce and flow of trade throughout the colonies, and to the east was New York City. And those of us that are familiar with the COVID crisis, when something happens in New York City, it impacts the entire country. And nearly 250 years ago, the same applied. So General Washington established West Point in 1778, and the rest has been history. As you know, we are the United States of America today because New York City was never captured by the British and the Hudson River was secure. West Point is full of tradition, full of history, but our mission has not changed since 1802. The complexion and the composition of our Corps of Cadets have changed. In 1877, our first African-American graduated, and it took another 103 years until 1980 until women were admitted and graduated from the academy. But since 1802, our primary mission, why we exist, are to train, educate, and inspire the Corps of Cadets so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character, committed to the values of duty, honor country, and prepared for a career of professional service and excellence as an officer in the United States Army. It is who we are. It is what we are doing. The value of the appointment this evening is really incalculable, and it's not the reason why candidates apply to West Point. but we are offering a fully funded 4-year scholarship that includes tuition, room, board, full medical and dental coverage, a monthly salary, and travel and experience that is incalculable. In exchange, the commitment is upon graduation, each graduate will receive a Bachelor of Science degree, a commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army, and is committed for a mandatory service obligation without conditions for a minimum of 8 years. The young woman who's being appointed this evening essentially is committing the next 12 years of her life to the United States Army, 4 years at West Point, and then 8 years in service to this nation. But the oath she will take is a sacred oath that is a lifetime of selfless service to this country. Because of the gravity of this appointment, we're very selective in who we choose to attend the Academy. It's a very complex admission process, and each part of the process is achieved independently. You must be academically qualified, you must pass a very extensive medical evaluation and mental health screening, you must pass a physical fitness test, and receive a nomination from a member of Congress. The young woman this evening received nominations from both Senator Richard Blumenthal and Congresswoman Johanna Hayes. The average national selection rate is about 8%. That is how competitive the West Point process is. This year, we've had close to 14,000 candidates across the nation apply for a little over of 1,200 appointments. I've shared with you here the actual data for the state of Connecticut. Probably at the beginning of the admission process, I had over 1,000 students throughout the state that raised their hand, attended the admission event and said, I'm kind of interested, tell me a little bit more about West Point. But 234 actually opened an application. And as you can see, less than 25% of those actually received a nomination from a member of Congress. The majority of those applicants did complete their application, but only 50% of those that completed their application was actually fully qualified for admission. And of those fully qualified for admission, only 18 were appointed, 4 women and 14 men. And Shepaug High School is honored to have one of those women in the ranks. This day would not have been possible, though, without the support of the adult mentors in this young candidate's life. The award ceremony tonight is about the candidate, but you made this appointment possible. In speaking with the young woman that I'm going to recognize this evening, family, it started at the family, it started at home, it was nurtured by the teachers and the faculty at Shepaug, and it was also inspired by Stephen Reich, a man that this candidate never met, but one in whom you honor at Shepaug on a daily basis. The diversity here is very indicative, and what is touching for me, you'll notice a young woman toward the bottom of the screen there that's in a cadet uniform. She was a young woman that helped mentor this candidate. And 40 years ago when I was applying to West Point, there weren't any women graduates, so there wasn't any women mentors. So over time, even though in this period of social unrest in our country, we have made a lot of progress, and the United States Military Academy is in a forefront of diversity, inclusion, and ensuring that we continually move the bar and raise the bar. So I want to say thank you to the educators, to all that made a difference in this young woman's life. The Shepaug legacy at West Point and the Long Gray Line is very moving. Stephen Reich was the first Shepaug graduate to graduate from the United States Military Academy, and as we all know, he gave his last full measure, and he is an inspiration not only for Shepaug, but for West Point, for the 160th Special Operations Combat Aviation Regiment, the United States Army, and our country. This will be the 4th consecutive year that a Shepaug high school graduate has been appointed to the Academy. There are hundreds of high schools in the state of Connecticut, and Shepaug is one of the smallest schools in the state of Connecticut. It is the only school in the state of Connecticut that has a West Point cadet in its freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And that is a tribute to the caliber of the education there, the mentorship, and the legacy. Cadet John Swanson will graduate next year, almost 30 years from the time Stephen Reich graduated. And I can tell you, having been to the academy last summer, John is one of the top cadets in his West Point class. John, Sean, Jordan, and the young woman I'm going to appoint this evening. They're very different people. I spent a lot of time with both Sean and John, as I have with the candidate this evening. Different people, different interests, different sports, different personalities, and different goals. But what makes West Point America's academy is the diversity, the inclusion, the tapestry of talent that brings people from very diverse backgrounds with different goals together in a unified approach of service before self, duty, honor, country. So thank you again, Shepaug, for your outstanding legacy. West Point focuses on duty, honor, country. It is the foundation for our principles, and the 4 pillars that we evaluate all cadets upon as part of a leader of character are very similar to your principles at Shepaug: academics, leadership, physical education and conditioning, and then honor and ethical character. You'll notice I don't have any blue bullets under the honor and ethical character. The blue bullets you see are the candidate that I'm presenting this evening. It is her accomplishments while she's been in high school to show how her impressive background correlates with what we seek at West Point. But with honor and ethical character, it's very difficult to describe, but you know when you're in the presence of someone that possesses those attributes. Those of us that are adults on the phone, that have been around for a long time, we've often been in the presence of people that may have had a lot of diplomas on their wall, or may have been very, very successful financially, or may have been very, very charismatic. But there was something about them that you just didn't trust them. You really weren't sure that they were a good person. With the candidate that I'm presenting this evening, aside from her academic achievements, and aside from her many leadership contributions, and aside from her competitive dance and her involvement in sports, it's her honor, it's her ethical character, it's who she is at her core, and how selfless she is in giving back to others that makes this appointment so impressive. So on behalf of the President of the United States of America, the Admissions Committee of the United States Military Academy at West Point takes great pride in announcing this certificate of appointment to Lily Jean Schur to be a member of the United States Military Academy class of 2024. Signed, Darrell A. Williams, Lieutenant General, United States Army, Superintendent. Congratulations, Lily.
Thank you so much, Major Bates. It's an honor.
Let's get the spotlight on Lily Schur for one more time. Congratulations to Lily. This was an incredible achievement, and we are so incredibly proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Major Bates, for an outstanding presentation. That's always a tough act to follow.
Thank you so much, Major Bates.
Thank you.
Next up, presenting the Brian, actually, we're going to take a step back. We had a mute issue on the last scholarship, so I'm going to welcome back Sheila Anson for one more scholarship for the American Legion Edward Week Memorial Scholarship. Got to unmute yourself. There you go. Still muted. Go ahead, Sheila.
Congratulations on being the recipient of the
Okay,
Gage Zump
I got
Post
it.
87 award to Paul
can't believe
Jones.
I mean, there were like 15 or 20 of those, and okay.
All right.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Moving right along.
So you do that, Julia, right?
Can I just ask whoever is
No.
in the background talking, if you could please mute yourself? Thank you. Moving right along, we'll try this one more time. Presenting the Brian Swanson Technology Scholarship is our very own school counselor, Ms. Samantha Steinis.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to present this award tonight. The Brian Swanson Technology Scholarship has been awarded annually to a graduating senior pursuing a technical career. Brian was in the graduating class of 1999. He loved playing sports throughout high school, especially baseball, and in his senior year, they won the Berkshire League title. After graduation, he was actively involved in the New Milford Adult Football Leagues, where he played as quarterback on many teams. Brian grew up working around construction with his father. Following graduation, he immediately started his career with Waters Construction, a heavy highway contractor that his father also worked for. He started as a laborer, and within 6 months, due to his ability to perform, he became a foreman overseeing crews. Brian was a mentor, and he always pushed others to strive for excellence in whatever they did. This award was created to honor the memory of Brian and is given to a student who has demonstrated an aptitude in technology. The recipient is always a student who works hard, does not quit, and shows moral character. The Swanson family is very proud to present the 2020 Brian Swanson Technology Scholarship to Robert Tanner.
So naturally, Robert Tanner is currently saving lives, and he is on an emergency call right now, which is so fitting. Anyone that knows Robert, comes to no surprise. And I'll just add one more thing, that he had an absolutely incredible senior project today that took place in the Sherman Firehouse. Thank you. Next up, we have the Bridgewater Historical Society Scholarship, presented by Shepaug's very own Assistant Principal, Mike Croft.
The Bridgewater Historical Society was organized in 1928 by descendants of the first families to settle in the town. The purpose of the society is to make the colorful past of the town as widely known as possible, and to preserve its historical memorabilia. To be eligible for the Bridgewater Historical Society Scholarship, one must be a graduating senior from the town of Bridgewater. The requirement also is to write an essay of at least 1,000 words on a person or place in Bridgewater, a person or place of historic interest. This year's recipients of the Bridgewater Historical Society Scholarship are Taryn Crossley,
Taryn could not be with us tonight. Congratulations to Taryn.
Bailey Heron,
Bailey.
and Julia Sinatra.
Thank you. That's really wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Croft. Moving right along, our next scholarship will be the Bridgewater Scholarship Fund Scholarships, presented by Curtis Reed.
Hello, can you hear me? I have the pleasure to represent the Town of Bridgewater Scholarship Commission, and the following seniors will be receiving envelopes in August that will help them have a good time when they get to college and hopefully buy a few books, study hard. So with that in mind, I'd like to announce the first one being Cameron Brown.
Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate
Good
it.
job. The second one is Karen Crosley. I know she's up here. And Bailey Heron.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
And Michael Iannucci. Michael? There he is.
Thank you.
And John Maxwell. And Lily Schur. Lily?
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Yeah. And Julia Sinatra.
Thank you.
All right, Julia. And lastly, Annika Bickstrom.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
This is a great group of people, and thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Next up, presenting the Bridgewater Women's Auxiliary Scholarship is Carol Wilbur.
Hi, everyone. As you know, I'm a member of the Bridgewater Women's Auxiliary, and tonight I'm here to present this year's scholarship to a student who has not only achieved success academically, but who has also been a model citizen through their dedication to various organizations and activities through community service. The application, essay, transcript, and letter of reference that we received impressed not only our scholarship committee, but also all the members of the Bridgewater Women's Auxiliary, making our selection an easy one. Therefore, it is our pleasure to present this year's scholarship to Lily Schur. Congratulations, Lily. We wish you all the best at West Point.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wilbur.
Way to go, Lily. Thank you, Carol. Next up, we will move right along with the Burnham School PTO gift presented by Amanda Telford.
Hi. The Burnham School PTO Scholarship is awarded annually to a Shepaug Valley High School graduating senior who attended Burnham Elementary School here in Bridgewater. The winning candidate exhibits academic excellence, outstanding qualities of leadership, and participation in school and community affairs. It is important to us to support our students beyond the walls of Burnham School and celebrate their successes and achievements. To that end, we would like to award this scholarship to Sienna Moore. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Sienna. And that reaction was priceless. Next up, we have the C. Hugh P. Silk Memorial Rotary Scholarship, presented by Shepaug's very own school counselor, Miss Joanne Kelly.
Hi, everyone. So on behalf of the Washington Rotary, we wish our scholarship recipients all the best. The 2020 C. Hugh P. Silk Rotary Club Scholarship is awarded to Reese Peck, and Gabriel Toronto. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Looking sharp, Gabe, looking sharp. All right, thank you. And just for a little tidbit, I actually messaged Gabe before not to show me up with his dress, but it looked like he did. Next up, we have the Cabot Scholarship presented by Reverend Robin Gray.
Good evening, everyone. The Cabot Scholarship, given in memory of Ida L. Cabot, is awarded to graduates of Shepaug Valley School who reside in Washington and have demonstrated academic ability, leadership, and high moral character, and are enrolled in undergraduate studies. And so we are pleased to honor Paul Jones, Alexa McCarley,
Thank you.
and Owen Moore.
Thank you.
Congratulations all, and good luck next year.
Well done. Thank you, Rev. Next up, we have the Chris Swanson Technology Scholarship presented by Shepaug's school counselor, Samantha Stein.
The Chris Swanson Technology Scholarship has been awarded annually to a graduating senior pursuing a technical career. Chris grew up working around equipment with his father, where he soon grew an interest. As a young man, he was constantly rebuilding all types of equipment, quads, tractors, and cars. He loved anything with an engine. Chris became a mentor to many other students involved with the automotive marine trade and was always willing to help anyone out with any type of repair or upgrade to their car or boat. He, along with many other fellow students, were always looking for ways to improve their vehicles, both in looks and in performance. Chris's hands-on experience excelled him in all aspects of motor building, always pushing him to outperform others and test his abilities. This award was created to honor the memory of Chris and is given to a student who has demonstrated an aptitude in technology. The recipient is always a student who works hard, does not quit, and shows moral character. The Swanson family is proud to present the 2020 Chris Swanson Technology Scholarship to Spencer Hosberg.
Congratulations, Spencer, who could not make it tonight. Next up, we have the Colonel James J. Hull Scholarship, presented by Shepaug's Assistant Principal, Mike Croft.
Hello, okay. The annual Colonel James Hull Scholarship is awarded by St. John's Episcopal Church to a Washington resident who is selected based on his or her academic achievement, service to the community, and overall quality of character. St. John's is proud to award the 2020 Colonel James Hull Scholarship to Owen Moore.
Thank you.
Way to go, Owen. Thank you, Mr. Croft. And spoiler alert, Mr. Croft is helping us with the closed captioning, so a big shout out to him, so thank you. Next up, we have the Connecticut Community Foundation Regional Scholarships, presented by Shepaug School Counselor, Joanne Kelly.
Am I muted?
Nope.
Okay. The Connecticut Community Foundation is one of the largest college scholarship providers in the greater Waterbury and Litchfield region. Over the years, the big-hearted donors have recognized the importance of a college education in helping residents of our region succeed in life. With funds from more than 130 donors, the Connecticut Community Foundation is able to award college scholarships to hundreds of students. The Connecticut Community Foundation regional scholarship recipients are Erin Bailey.
Thank you.
Rhiannon Luna.
Thank you.
And Reese Peck. Congratulations.
Well done, you three. Moving right along, we have the Daughters of the American Revolution, Evelyn Blake Miles Scholarship, presented by Miss Sheila Anson. You're on mute again.
Am I good?
Now you're good. Why don't you start from the top?
The Daughters of the American Revolution is a lineage society that is a charitable organization dedicated to patriotism, historic preservation, and education. It was founded in 1890 by 4 women whose common bond was the fact that each had fathers or grandfathers who were patriots of the American Revolution. The Judea chapter of the DAR was organized in 1898 and remains a small chapter enthusiastically celebrating our rich and colorful history derived from a town which bears the name of the Revolutionary War general who became the first president of the United States, George Washington. Evelyn Blake Miles was a member of the Judea chapter. She taught 7th and 8th grades in the Washington public school system for many years. This scholarship is given annually in her memory, and for 2020 is presented to Owen Moore.
Thank you, Sheila.
Way to go, Owen. Heard your name a few times. Next up, we have Eugene M. Oregon Scholarship for the Gentleness of Spirit, presented by Shepaug's very own Samantha Steiner.
The scholarship is given annually to the graduating senior who best exemplifies the qualities of gentleness, humility, empathy, and dedication to reconciliation within the community and or world. The 2020 recipient of the Eugene M. Horrigan Scholarship for Gentleness of Spirit is Elizabeth Nunzik.
Thank you.
Way to go, Liz. On behalf of the Ken Cornett Memorial Art Scholarship, please join us in welcoming Joseph Mustich.
Oh, thank you, Michael, and congratulations to the class of 2020. I established the Ken Cornett Memorial Art Scholarship to honor Ken Cornett, a New York-born and raised artist and designer who never colored within the lines of his coloring books or in life. And each year when I award the ceremony, or the scholarship rather, I've always asked the applicants to explain in a paragraph or two how they color outside the lines in art and in life. I normally award one per year, but this year, due to the generous support of artist Peter Frisbee, who taught at Shepaug for, I believe, 40 years, I will be awarding 3 scholarships. And I'm honored to, the first one is to Gabriela Amato.
Thank you. Oh, am I muted?
Not anymore. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And the second one goes to Sienna Moore. Ah, hi, congratulations.
Thank you.
And the third, and I hope I don't mispronounce Rebecca's last name, goes to Rebecca Raz?
Roz, thank you
Raz.
so much.
And the third goes to Rebecca Raz.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's an honor to award all 3 of you the Ken Cornett Memorial Art Scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, for your continued support of Shepaug students.
Thank
you.
you.
I do have, you're welcome. Oops. And I do have to say that I did read each of the 3 essays, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Lions Club of Washington Scholarship, presented by John Quist.
Am I on? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael. John Quist, representing the Lions Club of Washington. And just to give you, we have a lot of fundraisers and we do a lot of good things at the Washington Lions Club. But I just want to give a shout out to all the people that do support our fundraisers and help us able to give out scholarships and assist people in vision problems and an assortment of issues. We're proud to present 3 scholarships tonight to 3 seniors. And the first would be Owen Moore. Thank you. You're welcome, Owen. Our second is Reese Peck. And our third recipient is Mahalet Kate Steinmetz.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mahalet. All right, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, John. The next scholarship is the Litchfield Bancorp Scholarship, presented by another Shepaug faculty member going by the name of Mike Boucher, which is me. So the Litchfield Bancorp Scholarship is given annually to a student who exemplifies perseverance, a strong work ethic, and commitment. The Litchfield Bancorp Scholarship recipient for 2020 is Oscar Cespedes. Way to go, Oscar. Next up, we have the Mary Ann Erickson Memorial National Iron Bank Scholarship, also known as the Washington Environmental Council, on behalf of the Washington Environmental Council. Please join me in welcoming Terry Sabet.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everybody. I am the Vice President of the Washington Environmental Council, and this year we are very pleased to award the Mary Ann Erickson Iron Bank Scholarship to a senior who has worked very hard for environmental awareness and action at Shepaug and in our world. This year's recipient is Reese Peck, and the council wishes her all the best of luck in college and beyond. Good luck, Reese.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, she's here.
Yeah, sorry, my microphone wasn't working.
No worries. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
There you are. I see your forehead.
Oh, yes, thank you.
There you are. You're very welcome. Next up, we have the New Preston Women's Club Scholarship, presented by Shepaug's own Susan Nicholas.
Good evening. The New Preston Women's Club was started in 1915 for the purpose of providing volunteer services and contributions to the community. For over 100 years, the club has done just that. In 1921, the club began a hot cocoa program, which eventually grew to what we now know as the Hot Lunch Program here at Shepaug. The program became the first school lunch program started by a women's club in the state of Connecticut. In 1924, the club turned a small community library into New Preston School Library, which inspired the development of the library for Washington High School. The New Preston Women's Club Scholarship is awarded to individuals who are community-minded and exhibit good citizenship. It is my pleasure to award the New Preston Women's Scholarship to Nathan Dusky.
Thank you.
And Owen Moore.
Thank you, Mrs. Nicholas.
Way to go. The next scholarship is the Pat Ward Scholarship, presented by Ms. Samantha Steines.
The Pat Ward Scholarship, established in 2012, honors the late Pat Ward, an esteemed colleague who was Sherman School's remedial teacher and member of the community. She was a passionate educator devoted to bringing out the best in her students. This year's recipient of the Pat Ward Scholarship embodies the qualities that Pat shared with each of us daily. She has been inspired by her family, especially her grandmother, who has taught her important lessons on education and respect. She also taught her the importance of thriving in life and that this could be done by pursuing a higher education. In preparation for the future, this recipient used her time at the Sherman School and Shepaug Valley School to grow her mind and cultivate her interests by becoming an involved member of both communities. Not only is she the recipient of many academic awards, Excellence in Math, Harvard Book Club Award, and the Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award, she also strives to serve the community. She was a member of the Sherman School Future Planning and Steering Committee, the Leo Club, and participated in blood drives and tutoring opportunities. She is a true leader who will be studying history as a precursor into pre-law in the fall. The Pat Ward Scholarship recipient for 2020 is Elizabeth Nunzig.
Thank you.
The smiling faces does not get old as this goes on. Next scholarship is part of the Connecticut Community Foundation, and please join me in welcoming Elaine and Steve Wyman presenting the Perspecker Scholarship. All right, we are going to move on to the next scholarship, and we'll circle back. The next scholarship.
I'm muted now.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Our apologies.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Can you hear us now? A little technical problems from Florida. Forgive us.
Yes, not a
Okay.
problem. Are you in the panel?
Yes. Oh, we don't have any light in the house.
Okay.
That's.
Guess you all have to stare at me a little bit longer.
Does that happen? Does that help any? We're turning on some lights here. Sorry. In any case, the Perspecker Family Fund is available to students residing in Bridgewater, Connecticut to receive a scholarship from the fund. A student must demonstrate an outstanding commitment to community service in the town of Bridgewater and be the student's primary residency. These rewards are renewable for up to four years. This year we have 3 recipients. The first one being Tara Crosley. The second one being Julia Sinatra.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And the third one goes to Annika Bickstrom. Congratulations, Annika. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Prevention Council of Bridgewater, Roxbury, and Washington, I will be presenting this year's scholarship in place of our president and leader, Jim McDonough. As part of the Prevention Council, the council is a coalition of community members dedicated to developing awareness and providing education to reduce the harmful effects of substance abuse and addiction on individuals, families, and children living in the towns of Bridgewater, Roxbury, and Washington. Each year, the Prevention Council awards a scholarship to the Shepaug student who best exemplifies our mission through actions and attitude. This year, the Prevention Council of Bridgewater, Roxbury, and Washington is pleased to announce the recipient of the scholarship, Lily Shore.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Please join me in welcoming the board chairman, Mr. Gregory J. Cava, presenting the Robert J. Benham Scholarship.
Good evening, all. It's my privilege to present the scholarship tonight. The Robert J. Benham Scholarship is awarded to graduates of Shepaug Valley School who reside in Washington and have demonstrated academic ability and high moral character and are enrolled in any stage of advanced studies. I am proud to announce that the Robert J. Benham Scholarship is this year to the class of 20 is awarded to Owen Moore and Mahalet Steinmetz.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cava.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Cava. Next up, we have the Robert and Georgiana Middlebrook Washington Art Association Scholarship, presented by Leslie Middlebrook. You gotta just unmute yourself.
Hello.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I unmuted myself. The Robert and Georgiana Middlebrook Washington Art Association Scholarship Fund was established in 1995 by my mother, Georgia Middlebrook, in memory of her husband, my father, Robert Middlebrook, for the purpose of providing scholarships for excellence in the arts. Georgia, a well-known artist herself, and Robert Middlebrook were longtime supporters of the arts, creative pursuits, and the students of Shepaug Valley School. In 2018, we renamed the scholarship in both of their names, so it became the Robert and Georgiana Middlebrook Art Association Scholarship Fund. The scholarship is awarded annually to a graduating senior or seniors from Shepaug Valley School who embody a creative spirit. The recipients are selected by the Shepaug Valley School Scholarship Committee and the art department. The scholarship is not limited to students preparing specifically for an art school, but may be applied toward the tuition of any institution of higher learning. Now, this year, and I have to interrupt, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. This year, the 2020 Robert and Georgiana Middlebrook Scholarship recipients are Gabriella Amato, who will be studying biology and minoring in art.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jake Diller, who will be working towards a Bachelor's of Fine Arts with a degree in acting. And that's particularly close to my heart because I work in both the theater and in film and television. And the third recipient is Mahalet Steinmetz, who will be working towards a major in psychology, but is also a very talented visual artist herself and will be working in some of those fields as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me here all the way from New York City.
Thank you for joining us. The next scholarship is an extremely special scholarship to the Shepaug Valley community. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Samantha Sinus to present the Rosemary Ermini Kindness to Others Award.
This scholarship is in honor of Rosemary Ermini, who was a school counselor at Shepaug for over 20 years. When Ro passed away 2 years ago, we saw an outpouring of love from our students like we had never seen before. This outpouring was because Ro was one of the kindest people we knew. So in memory of Ro, we have established the Rosemary Ermini Kindness to Others Scholarship. This year, the important recognition goes to Autumn Collette. This is especially fitting for Autumn as she created the Pay It Forward Award as her senior project. Autumn was very close with Mrs. Ermini and developed this award to help keep her legacy alive. Thank you, Autumn. The counselors are very proud to have you receive this honor.
We are so incredibly proud of you, Autumn. Thank you so much. The next scholarship comes from the Roxbury Roadrunners. The Roxbury Roadrunners is a running group out of Roxbury, something that I thought about joining when I moved to New Milford, and then I realized that there were so many hills, so I have to give them credit for what they do. So maybe next year. I will be presenting the Roxbury Roadrunners Award on behalf of Dr. David McNamara. And The Roxbury Roadrunners Award is given annually to 2 student athletes, one male, one female, who exemplify leadership and perseverance both while they run for track and cross country and also in the classroom. I'm proud to announce this year's recipient, the Roxbury Roadrunners Award, Isabel Eddy,
Thank you.
and Owen Moore.
Thank you.
That noise is piercing. Please join me in welcoming our library specialist, none other than Joan Temple, to present the Roxbury Scholarship Foundation Scholarship.
Good evening, students and panelists. It's really good to see you all. Our Roxbury Scholarship Foundation Awards Committee met the challenge of completing 35 Zoom over the Memorial Day weekend. And I'd like to give it a shout out to the committee members that did that work. They were Paul Wazeski, John Kagi, Nina Scheimer, Ron Fons, and Solika. There were 35 recipients, and 9 of those are Shepaug seniors. The first award is the Toplands Farm Scholarship, created in memory of philanthropist Richard Diebold. It is awarded to students pursuing an education in agriculture or science. This year, there are 3 recipients in the scholarship. The first is Erin Bailey, who will be attending Quinnipiac University.
Thank you.
The second is Carly Russ, who will be going to High Point University in North Carolina.
Thank you.
And the third is Eddie Puskis, who will be attending UConn.
Thank you.
Next is the Regine and Maurice W. Metzler Jr. Scholarship. The Metzlers were instrumental in the formation of the Wheatnog Heritage, which is one of the first land trusts in the area. This year's recipient is Jaden Cornwall, who will be attending Florida Institute of Technology.
You got one. Thank you very much.
Next is the James L. Weaver and Mary Rand Weaver Scholarship. It's awarded annually to students attending a trade or agricultural school. This year's recipient is Mark DeRozier, who will be attending Southern Connecticut State University.
All right, thank you. Really appreciate it.
The Roxbury Historical Society's Robert A. Hodges Scholarship. This goes to someone studying agriculture or history in honor of Mr. Hodges, who served the town of Roxbury in myriad positions, from fireman to president of the Historical Society. This year's recipient is Rhiannon Luna. She'll be attending Wheaton College.
Thank you.
Next is the Lloyd George Green Scholarship. Mr. Green was a master plumber who considered the entire town of Roxbury as his family. It's given to a student who is pursuing some sort of trade, usually. And this year's recipient is Chris Marchese, and he'll be going to Southern Connecticut State University. The Graydon P. and Roselle H. Cooper Scholarship. They were major contributors to the Roxbury Scholarship Foundation, and this year's recipient is Lucy Puskis, who will be going to Springfield College. And finally, the Joseph Oslowitz Scholarship in memory of Joey, a Booth Free School student who was tragically taken from us at the age of 11. It is awarded to a high school senior with a kind and loving heart and someone who has a love for their community. And this year's recipient is Rebecca Ross, who will be attending the Florida Institute of Technology.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Joan. I think I figured out the volume issue, and if it continues with that echo, well, it'll be annoying, but please send us a chat. Next up, we have the Roxbury Volunteer Fire Department Scholarship, which is also part of the Connecticut Community Foundation. Please join us in welcoming Ms. Joanne Kelly.
Okay, so the Roxbury Volunteer Fire Department Scholarship was founded with gifted money over 10 years ago and continues through private donors and proceeds from past Roxbury picking and fiddling events. The scholarship is awarded to a Roxbury resident who is pursuing a post-secondary education at a 2 or 4 year junior college, technical school, or other institution offering postgraduate training. Preference is given to current and former members of the Roxbury Fire Department or their direct descendants. This year's recipient of the Roxbury Volunteer Fire Department Scholarship is Rhiannon Luna.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congrats.
Can we get that kind of crowd applause for every scholarship? I love that.
I know.
Next up, we have the senior prize. Senior prize from, let's see if I can get this right, Alliance Française of Northwestern Connecticut. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Heidi Adele. Madame.
Bonjour, hi everybody. I'm presenting this prize on behalf of the American Association of Teachers of French and the Alliance Française of Northwestern Connecticut and our own Joanne Hutchings, who's been very instrumental in developing that prize. The Alliance Française is an international organization that aims to promote the French language around the world. The competition for this award is open to a nominated senior studying French in Litchfield County or the towns of Bethel, Brookfield, Danbury, Middlebury, Monroe, Naugatuck, New Fairfield, Newtown, Oxford, Sherman, Southbury, or Waterbury. The Alliance Française of Northwestern Connecticut, assisted by the Concours Committee of the American Association of Teachers of French, awarded this year's senior prize to Sienna Moore. While the prize ceremony could not be held live, Sienna was able to participate last year because she was the organization's outstanding junior for Connecticut as well. Congratulations, Sienna.
Merci, madame.
Well done, Sienna. It's a true testament to our world language department at Shepaug and the remarkable work that our students have been doing. Next up, we have the Shepaug Valley Education Association Scholarship. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Susan Nicholas for the presentation.
Each year, the teachers of the Shepaug Valley Education Association and the Shepaug staff raise money to fund a scholarship for a Shepaug senior who has chosen to pursue a career in a service field. It is our pleasure to award the SVEA scholarship to Autumn Rose Collette.
You're on mute, Autumn.
Thank you.
Well done. Give him a quick break from typing the closed captioning. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Mike Croft to present the Shepaug Valley School Student Council Scholarship.
The Student Council Scholarship is awarded to the student who, over the course of his or her career at Shepaug, has demonstrated effective leadership skills. It's a great pleasure to award the Shepaug Student Council Scholarship to Lily Scher.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Lily.
Thank you.
Mr. Boucher, just a
Yeah.
quick,
The PTO.
do we need to go back to the SBS PTO Scholarship?
Yes. Yep. Next up, please join me in welcoming.
Hello.
Please join me in welcoming Miss Nicole Ross, presenting on behalf of the Shepaug Valley PTO.
Thank you. The SVS PTO is organized for the purpose to ensure every student in grades 6 through 12 has the opportunity to enhance their education through well-supported activities, clubs, and events. Throughout the school year, and the PTO board and its volunteers raise funds to support student initiatives. Each year, the PTO invites graduating seniors to draft an essay in which they are asked to tell us about the staff member who most influenced your experience as a student at Shepaug Valley School. Over 18 parent volunteers volunteered to read each essay. We were thrilled to have many students submit essays this year and congratulate Jaden Cornwall,
Do you see me? Thank you. Woo!
Yes.
Sienna Moore, and no stranger to awards tonight, Rebecca Roz. Hope I didn't butcher your last name.
No, you did not. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't have.
All right, Shepaug students, I challenge you to beat what Jaden just did. Thank you for that, Mr. Cornwall. That was excellent. Next up, we have the Sherry Lee Williams Scholarship presented by Ms. Sheila Anson.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you. Great.
Okay. I don't have any balloons here at Town Hall. Sorry. I'd like to pop one though, Jaden. That was great. So Sherry Williams was a graduate of the class of 1973. Shortly after she started college, she was diagnosed with a very rare type of bone cancer. And despite chemotherapy and many treatments, she was just determined to get her degree. She achieved her goal of getting her diploma at college before passing away in 1977 at the age of 21. Sherry's friends, teachers, and associates set up this scholarship in her name to remember her courage and determination to continue her education. With that in mind, each year we look for a Shepaug senior who has demonstrated Sherry's qualities of contributing to the life of Shepaug Valley and exhibiting conscientious and high motivation to do well academically. Sherry was a friend of mine, Mrs. Stewart, Stu, a couple of the other presenters you saw tonight, John Quist and Joan Baslow Temple. We knew her very well. And we are very honored and pleased to be awarding the 44th Sherry L. Williams Memorial Scholarship to Owen Moore.
Thank you so much, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila. Are there no lights in there either? I had to, I'm sorry. The next scholarship is the Sherman Higher Education Fund Mary Hadlow Scholarship, presented by Miss Joanne Kelly.
Okay. So Mary Hadlow was one of the most philanthropic members of our Sherman community. She gave freely of her time and energy toward making Sherman a better place to live. Examples of Mrs. Hadlow's commitment to improve the quality of life here are distinguishable in Mallory Town Hall, tennis courts, the Sherman Library, the Sherman Historical Society, and parcels of land designated as open space, and in our children's education, we founded a scholarship fund that is administered through the Sherman Higher Education Fund, or SHEF. Mrs. Hadlow's generosity allows SHEF to recognize one individual each year for his or her commitment to an overall participation in community service in Sherman and elsewhere. This award is given each year to a Sherman student attending an accredited college who best emulates Mary Hadlow's commitment to the Sherman community and higher education. The recipients are chosen by the SHEF board after reviewing applications and essays from all the applicants. The recipient shall receive an award certificate and a check in the amount of $5,000. The 2020 Mary Hadlow Award recipient is Gianluca Leclerc.
Thank you so much.
Is Darth Vader with us? I like it. Next up, we have the Sherman Higher Education Fund Merit Scholarship, and I will be presenting that. The Sherman Higher Education Fund Merit Scholarship is given each year to the Sherman Public High School student with the highest grade point average. This year's recipient is a tremendous young scholar who embodies the Shepaug core values and leads by example at Shepaug and in the community. She's gentle, kind, innovative, brilliant, selfless. Well, the list just goes on. Please join me in congratulating this year's Sherman Higher Education Fund Merit Scholarship recipient, Elizabeth Nunzig.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Liz. And welcome back Ms. Samantha Steinis, presenting the Tam Farrow Memorial Scholarship.
Tam Farrow was a visually impaired student who was gifted in the arts. She was kind, spirited, and full of life. It was Tam's wish to make her senior project the development of a scholarship that helps students going into the arts or education. Tam passed away in the spring of 2000 when she was a junior at Shepaug. That fall, Tam's best friend, Kirsten Pratt, decided that she would honor her friend by carrying out Tam's wish, and she created the Tam Farrow Memorial Scholarship. The scholarship is given annually to a student who best resembles someone Tam would have wanted to help. The 2020 Tam Farrow Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Sienna Moore.
Thank you.
Nice job, Sienna. We're gonna go right back to Miss Samantha Steinis, who will be presenting the Tyler Horrigan Memorial Scholarship.
The Tyler Horrigan Scholar Athlete Award is given in memory of Shepaug student Tyler Horrigan, who passed away shortly before his high school graduation in 2003. This is the 16th year this award has been presented. This award recognizes a senior boy and girl who exemplify the characteristics that made Tyler special, being a good student, great athlete, and compassionate human being. Candidates for this award must have exhibited success in both classroom and on the playing field, specifically a 3.0 or better grade point average, and participation in at least 2 interscholastic sports. More importantly, the award recognizes the personal attributes of leadership, teamwork, friendship, and especially caring, characteristics that were at the heart of who Tyler was. A good head and good heart are primary considerations for the recipients. The Horrigan family, Tyler's parents, Rich and Kathy, as well as Ty's brother, Travis, Troy, and T, are especially pleased with this year's recipients. Both have gone above and beyond meeting the criteria. On behalf of the Horrigan family and in Ty's memory, I'm happy to announce this year's recipients of the Tyler Horrigan Scholarship Award are Cole Donahue.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And Devin O'Dwyer.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you both.
Way to go, Cole and Devin. Next up, presenting the Washington Business Association Scholarship. Please welcome back Mike Croft.
The Washington Business Association is pleased to present an award to a graduating Shepaug Valley School senior who has been recognized for their outstanding community spirit. This student has been chosen for their positive attitude, excellence in creative problem-solving skills, enthusiasm, and participation in school events, as well as leadership. The Washington Business Association is proud to recognize this year's award recipient, Owen Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Croft.
Well done.
Congratulations, Owen. Thank you, Mr. Croft. Hope those fingers are doing okay. Keep it up. Next up, please join us in welcoming Miss Susan Nicholas to present on behalf of the Washington Scholarship Fund.
The Washington Scholarship Fund awards scholarships annually to seniors and graduates from Shepaug Valley School and other secondary schools who have been residents of Washington, Washington Depot, Marbledale, and New Preston for a minimum of 2 years for their college educations. The awards are given to recipients based on financial need. Prior to 2013, the Scholarship Fund was operated as the Washington Citizen Scholarship Foundation, an affiliate of Scholarship America and its Dollars for Scholars program. Through Washington Citizen Scholarship Foundation, over $3 million has been awarded to our local students. In fact, almost $180,000 was awarded this year to help Washington residents make their college dreams a reality. The Shepaug Valley School Washington Scholarship recipients are the Paul Cornell and the Kenneth Johnson Scholarship to Oscar Cespedes.
Thank you.
The Richard Four Scholarship to Drew Dorwald.
Thank you so much.
The Carl and Helen Anderson Award to Nathan Dusky.
Thank you.
The Van Sinderen and Raymond A. Kozak Memorial Scholarships to Paul Jones. The Gear and the Edward R. Peckerman Jr. Memorial Scholarships to Alexa McCarley.
Thank you.
The Ted Alex and Donald Smith Scholarships to Owen Moore.
Thank you.
The Kathy Isley Memorial and the Patricia Sorak Memorial Scholarships to Mahalet Steinmetz.
Thank you.
The Elizabeth Miller and the Van Sinderen Scholarship to Gabriel Toronto.
Thank you.
And two seniors that are not Shepaug students, Elise Ketchum received the Hotchkiss Award, and Hunter Kolpak received the Mitchell Magnoli and the Worsby Award. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas, and just a special thank you in your first year with the Washington Scholarship Fund. It's been a tremendous experience from Shepaug's end.
Thank you.
Last but not least, to present the Washington Volunteer Fire Department Award, please welcome back Ms. Joanne Kelly.
Okay, so each year, the Washington Volunteer Fire Department chooses recipients who show dedication to their town through his or her service to the community. Based on the large amount of community service hours each of these students has accumulated, we are confident that they understand, as those in the fire department do, the importance of giving back and serving their community. The 2020 Washington Volunteer Fire Department Scholarship is awarded to Francesca Amato.
Thank you.
Here you go, Fran A.
And Gabriella Amato.
Gabby.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to have Mr. Parachi, who, yes, is the man behind the spotlight. Please highlight Miss Kim Gallo for the closing remarks.
That was really fast. I was especially pleased to watch your faces as you received your awards. There you are. Most of you are alone in a room with a computer, and all of a sudden you see your own face, and that's how you know that you received the award. You handled it very well, and your smiles were really quite nice. Scholarship evening has never gone quite so quietly or so quickly. I'd like to just point out all of the skills and the ideals that you possess that were celebrated this evening. You were celebrated as wonderful members of your community, both at Shepaug and in the greater communities in which you live. You were celebrated for your character, for your integrity, for your talent, for your ability to color outside the lines, whether it's in a coloring book or in life. The respect that you show, and you did that after every award as well. You were celebrated by people who really understand the importance of a higher education and want to support you. You were celebrated for the kindness that you show to others. You looked surprised when you won, but we all know that you shouldn't be, because you really are quite talented, quite kind, quite generous, and quite intellectually curious. All of these things and more were celebrated this evening. And now we know that these little communities are too small to hold you. You're going to go out and make your own mark in the world. As our first female governor in Connecticut, Ella Grasso, said, bloom where you are planted. Take all of those wonderful qualities and bring them to the communities you choose, to the communities that choose you for service. They're so lucky to get you, and we'll be so happy when you come back and visit us. Thank you so much for all that you bring to Shepaug, for the way that you made us a better learning community, for the way that you taught us in very different ways how your skills can be highlighted and shown in a wonderful school community like Shepaug. Parents, we thank you very much for the students that you've given us. We love them and we will miss them. Mr. Boucher, a few thanks from you, please.
Yes, absolutely. And you're always a tough act to follow. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. And, I'd be remiss to not, recognize several people and also just several scholarship committees for their generosity. First and foremost, this night wouldn't be possible without the generous contributions from every scholarship committee that is a part of this evening. So big shout out and a huge thank you, not only on behalf of the Shepaug faculty, but on behalf of the students and everyone that, bleeds blue, Spartan pride. Additionally, I'd like to thank Ms. Cheryl Caradad. There was a lot of moving parts, with this scholarship night. There was a lot of, adjustments that we needed to make on the fly due to, the pandemic that we are, we're currently in, but we're getting through. And the flexibility, on the scholarship committees themselves too, has been tremendous and, really made this night possible and I thought pretty special. I'd like to thank the support services team and the school counselors for their time and dedication assisting with the scholarships, with the presentations, with the selections. I'd like to give a special shout out to Mr. Parachi, who has been in charge of highlighting everyone as they won the awards, which I did think he did a phenomenal job, all things considered. And I don't think he's going to spotlight himself, but I'd like for him to. I might just do it after anyway.
I actually can't. Well, it doesn't give me the option.
Okay, I'll get you in a minute. Next, I'd like to thank Assistant Principal Mike Croft, who graciously volunteered to assist with the closed captioning. And I gotta say, you type pretty fast. Thank you. It's tremendous and a huge help. Thank you for your leadership throughout the year too. Ms. Gallo, thank you for your tremendous leadership and the sentiment on behalf of our kids and community. And last but not least, the Shepaug faculty and students, they're like no other. Coming to this district in 2018, I didn't quite know what I was getting into. And I gotta say, I have so much Spartan pride. And I am really grateful to work with each and every one of you. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you to Superintendent Bennett for attending tonight as in the audience and for supporting this event from day one. And I think that's all the thank yous I have, but I do want to get Mr. Parachi on screen. I won't do that to him. We'll save that for another day. So I believe, as Principal Gallo would say, we've hit that sweet spot. Congratulations to all scholarship recipients. Special thank you to the scholarship committee members that presented tonight, took time out of their days to make this happen, and their generous contributions. And one last special shout out to Miss Susan Nicholas, who will be retiring this year. Thank you for all that you do for Shepaug, your service to the children, your service to this, this new role as scholarship committee. You were phenomenal. We are going to miss you tremendously, and you better keep in touch. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
Please don't cry, because you don't want to make me cry on camera.
I'm not going to be crying.
Again, I think we've hit that sweet spot. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And we will be putting this recording out after we clean it up a little bit on the Shepaug Valley School website. So please keep an eye out. There will be a direct YouTube link, and there will also be a program with inserts for the winners to have for keepsake. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.